Let's understand the technologies behind generative AI, AI chatbots, LLMs, neural networks, and transformers. Uh, the term generative AI, the idea generative AI is talked about a lot nowadays. So let's explore one by one. Generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence technology which can produce different types of content: text, images, video, audio, or any type of synthetic data. So you can generate things from scratch, which is actually generative AI. You can contrast the generative AI with respect to discriminative AI, where you can do classification, regression, or grouping with discriminative AI. Here, the word generative, this signifies that the system is able to create new content. So, generative AI is the technology that's being talked about so widely today. So, the other thing that's being talked about now is the idea of AI chatbots. There are a lot of chatbots available today, and the most popular of them is ChatGPT. The other one is the chatbot Po, which is from Quora. The other one, which is also free, is the one Perplexity AI. So these ones are available for free. All of them are AI chatbots. So what does an AI chatbot do? At the most basic level, it's a computer program that simulates conversation or discussion with a human. So it allows human beings to interact with digital devices as if you are communicating with a real human being, right? So artificial intelligence enables communication to a digital device as if you're talking to a real human being. So that's a AI chatbot. And in other words, it's a computer program that is designed to simulate conversation with human users. The other one that is popular is the Google Bard, right? So this is also uh, an AI chatbot. So it enables communication with a device as if you're talking to a human being. So that's an AI chatbot. So what is below? So we know we saw what's generative AI. Then we saw what is an AI chatbot. So what is the technology behind AI chatbots? How do AI chatbots actually work? The technology is the machine learning technology of large language models. So, an LLM is a machine learning model that applies neural network techniques with a lot of parameters. So, basically, it's a model that you train on not thousands or lakhs of parameters, but millions and billions of parameters. So, if you train a machine learning model with billions of parameters, you call that as a large language model. So, the word large here refers to billions of parameters that are used for training. So, basically, a language model is something that predicts the next word in the very simplest sense. A language model is a system that predicts the next word in the sentence. A large language model takes it to its extreme logical conclusion. So, the technology behind AI chatbot is the large language model. So, what are the examples of large language models? Well, there are a lot of them. The one that ChatGPT uses is the GPT itself, right? GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformers. So GPT-4, GPT 3.5, GPT-3, all of them are language models, right? And similarly, if you look at Poe, you can use so many of these language models. Llama is a language model from Meta, which stands for Large Language Models Meta AI. So there are other language models also you can use. You can see that you have Chat GPT also, and the Path language model Palm by Google. So the Claude Instant is another language model. Gemini is the latest multimodal language model released by Google. So you can see Poe being a AI chatbot, you can actually select any one of these language models. What is underlying? What is beneath an LLM? How do the LLMs work? What technology is used in an LLM? If you ask that question, if you go one step further, you will see that the entire thing is AI, and then you have machine learning, and generative AI is part of the machine learning landscape. So you will see that you will have deep learning technologies and neural networks that are part of the large language models. So what is beneath the LLM? You will have deep learning and neural networks and reinforcement learning from human feedback, which is what you call RLHF. So let's look at a very broad outline of a neural network where there is an input layer and an output layer, and there are many hidden layers. So this is a fully connected neural network. So people who are conversant with graphs and data structures might look at this as a fully connected graph. Each point here is a neuron which is connected to all the other neurons in the next layer, and subsequently the thing goes on till you have an output layer. So this is basically a neural network technology. And then you have reinforcement learning, where you have the initial language model that we built, and then you give a lot of prompts to the language model, it produces a text, and then the human scores over this text, and he gives the ELO score and the relative score with respect to other systems. So you basically judge the performance. So once you judge the performance, you then reward or punish the system based on some parameters. So based on the reward punishment system, the language model learns either to use the same thing again and again, or to make some corrections in its technique. So these are the two things which work behind the LLM: deep learning with neural networks, and reinforcement learning with human feedback. So you will see that fundamentally the technology beneath the LLM is deep learning with neural networks and reinforcement learning. And finally, at one more level, what is the actual technique? What is the architecture that the neural networks use? The architecture is called the transformer architecture, which works by the principle of attention is all you need, right? It was a new technique that was invented to improve the performance of recurrent neural networks and to improve the performance of sequence models. So the transformer neural network architecture is the fundamental architecture that drives the modern day LLMs. And one of the main principles that drive this is what you call self attention. So basically, you weigh the relative importance of the different input tokens that make the predictions, so which enables long range dependencies to be resolved much more easily than we do with sequence models. So this principle is called as self attention. So these two principles basically involve the architecture of neural networks that are responsible for the large language models. So in this brief video, we saw the different layers of generative AI. At the top, we have the idea of generative AI, which generates all types of content, and that is done with the help of an AI chatbot. AI chatbot is a interface, is a system, and beneath that you have the large language models as the technique. And large language models work with neural networks and deep learning and reinforcement learning with human feedback. And the real architecture at the lowest level are transformers with the principle of self attention. So I hope you understood the different layers that are peeled one by one to understand the idea behind generative AI. Let's look at another video to understand the nuances of each of these terms of generative AI. Thanks for watching.